Solitude, often mistaken for loneliness, is one of the most transformative states a person can experience. It is in solitude that we peel away the layers of external validation, strip down to our most authentic selves, and confront the truths we often avoid. This isn't about isolation. It's about a deliberate choice to step away from the noise, the chaos, and the expectations of the world to rediscover what truly matters within us. In a world that never stops moving, being alone can feel unnatural, even daunting. We are conditioned to fill every moment with distraction, from endless scrolling on our devices to the constant hum of conversations and obligations. But solitude is where the magic happens. It's where clarity emerges. It's where the mind stops racing and starts reflecting. In the quiet, we begin to hear the whispers of our deepest desires, fears, and dreams, things that the world's clamor drowns out. Solitude fosters creativity in ways few other experiences can. Great artists, thinkers, and visionaries have often retreated into solitude to find their muse. The absence of external voices allows our inner voice to rise, offering fresh ideas and new perspectives. In those quiet moments, the mind is free to wander, to connect dots that seem unrelated, and to see beauty and simplicity. It's in solitude that we often stumble upon the kind of inspiration that changes our lives or the world around us. Beyond creativity, solitude strengthens resilience. When we spend time alone, we learn to rely on ourselves. We become our own source of strength, encouragement, and validation. This self-reliance doesn't just make us stronger, it makes us more compassionate. By understanding our own struggles and triumphs, we become more attuned to the challenges others face, building empathy and emotional intelligence. Solitude is also a sanctuary for healing. Life is full of wounds, some visible, others buried deep within. In the stillness of solitude, we create the space to confront pain, process emotions, and begin the journey toward wholeness. It's not about wallowing in sadness, but about giving ourselves permission to feel, to grieve, and to grow. Healing takes time, and solitude offers the patience the world rarely provides. In solitude, we learn the art of being present. Without distractions pulling us in every direction, we can finally anchor ourselves in the here and now. We notice the way the sunlight dances through the trees, the rhythm of our breath, the sound of our heartbeat. These small, often overlooked details become reminders of the beauty that exists in every moment, grounding us in gratitude and awareness. Our role in this life is to become aware of the grace of God and to appreciate its beauty. Trust me. Trust me. Solitude challenges us to face our fears, particularly the fear of being alone. It forces us to confront the parts of ourselves we might prefer to ignore, the doubts, the insecurities, the unresolved questions. But in doing so, it gives us the chance to grow, to understand that we are more than our fears, to recognize that strength comes not from avoiding challenges, but from facing them head-on. Perhaps the greatest gift of solitude is the opportunity it provides for self-discovery. In the absence of others' opinions and expectations, we are free to ask ourselves, who am I? What do I want? What do I value? These questions are not easy to answer, but solitude gives us the time and space to explore them. And in that exploration, we often find not only ourselves, but also the courage to live a life that feels true and meaningful. And connection is the invisible thread that binds us to one another, creating a tapestry of shared experiences, emotions, and meaning. It is through connection that we find a sense of belonging, a feeling that we are seen, heard, and valued. Human beings are inherently social creatures, and our relationships with others shape our identities, influence our choices, and provide the foundation for our emotional well-being. Connection is the invisible thread that binds us to one another. At its core, connection fulfills our deepest need to be understood. There is something profoundly comforting about sharing a piece of yourself with someone else and having them respond with empathy and care. Whether it's a close friend who knows you inside and out, or a stranger who shares a moment of kindness, these interactions remind us that we are not alone in our journey. They validate our experiences and reinforce our humanity. Connection also fosters growth, both personally and collectively. Through relationships, we are exposed to diverse perspectives, cultures, and ideas. These interactions challenge our assumptions, broaden our horizons, and inspire us to see the world in new ways. Every meaningful connection becomes a mirror, reflecting back not just who we are, but who we can become. In this way, connection is a catalyst for evolution, pushing us toward greater understanding and compassion. The value of connection extends beyond emotional fulfillment. It has tangible benefits for our physical and mental health. Studies have shown that strong social bonds can reduce stress, boost immunity, and even increase life expectancy. The simple act of engaging in positive interactions releases oxytocin, the feel-good hormone, which enhances our mood and builds resilience. In times of hardship, having a support system can make the difference between despair and hope. Connection is also essential for creating meaning and purpose in life. It is through our relationships with others that we find opportunities to contribute, to nurture, and to leave a lasting impact. Whether it's mentoring a colleague, raising a child, or simply lending a helping hand, these acts of connection give our lives a sense of direction and fulfillment. They remind us that we are part of something larger than ourselves. In the digital age, connection has taken on new forms, offering both challenges and opportunities. While technology allows us to stay in touch with loved ones across the globe, it also risks diluting the depth of our interactions. Genuine connection requires presence, vulnerability, and intentionality, qualities that can be difficult to cultivate in a world of instant messaging and social media. It is a reminder that the value of connection lies not in the quantity of relationships, but in their quality. Connection teaches us the beauty of reciprocity. In every relationship, there is a delicate balance of giving and receiving, a dance of trust and vulnerability. When we open ourselves to others, we invite them to do the same. Creating a space for authenticity can thrive. This mutual exchange fosters a sense of partnership and solidarity, reminding us that life is not meant to be navigated alone. Perhaps one of the most profound aspects of connection is its ability to transcend differences. At the heart of every human being lies a shared desire for love, acceptance, and understanding. When we connect with others, we bridge the gaps that divide us, whether they are cultural, political, or ideological. In these moments, we discover the universality of the human experience and the power of connection to heal, unite, and transform. The journey to self-worth is a deeply personal and transformative path, one that requires peeling back layers of self-doubt, external validation, and societal expectations to uncover the truth of our intrinsic value. It is not a destination that can be reached overnight, but a continuous process of recognizing, affirming, and embracing the worth we possess simply by existing. This journey begins with a fundamental understanding. Self-worth is not something that can be given to us by others. It is something we must discover within ourselves. One of the first steps in this journey is challenging the narratives we've internalized about who we are and what we deserve. Many of us carry wounds from childhood, past relationships, or societal pressures that tell us we are not enough. These voices, though loud, are not truth. To build self-worth, we must confront these false beliefs and replace them with affirmations of our value. This requires patience and compassion, as unlearning years of negative conditioning takes time and courage. Now's-a-grading years of negative conditioning takes time and courage. Self-worth often requires redefining success and failure. Too often we tie our value to external achievements, grades, promotions, appearances, or accolades. While accomplishments can bring pride, they do not define who we are. The journey to self-worth involves recognizing that our value does not fluctuate based on wins or losses. It lies in the effort, the integrity, and the character we bring to every situation, regardless of the outcome. Another critical aspect of building self-worth is learning to set boundaries. When we undervalue ourselves, we often allow others to dictate our worth through their treatment of us. True self-worth involves understanding that we have the right to say no, to protect our energy, and to surround ourselves with people who uplift rather than diminish us. Setting boundaries is an act of self-respect and a declaration that our time, feelings, and needs matter. Self-worth is closely tied to self-compassion. Too often we are our harshest critics, holding ourselves to impossible standards and punishing ourselves for perceived failures. The journey to self-worth involves cultivating a kinder, gentler relationship with ourselves. It means forgiving our mistakes, celebrating our efforts, and acknowledging that imperfection is not a flaw, but a reflection of our humanity. So, through self-compassion, we begin to see ourselves as worthy of love and understanding, even in our most vulnerable moments. Part of discovering self-worth is learning to embrace authenticity. When we feel unworthy, we often wear masks, hiding parts of ourselves to gain approval or avoid rejection. But true self-worth comes from knowing that we are enough, just as we are. It is about having the courage to show up as our authentic selves, even if it means standing alone. Authenticity frees us from the exhausting cycle of trying to be what others want, and allows us to live a life that feels true to who we are. The journey to self-worth also involves acknowledging our inherent value apart from others' opinions. It is tempting to seek validation from those around us, but relying on external affirmation can leave us feeling empty and dependent. Building self-worth means finding that validation within, learning to trust our instincts, and valuing our own perspective. It is about becoming our own source of encouragement and believing in ourselves, even when the world does not. Finally, self-worth is rooted in the realization that we are not defined by what we do, but by who we are. It is about recognizing the beauty, strength, and uniqueness we bring to the world simply by existing. When we begin to see ourselves through this lens, we no longer need to prove our worth to anyone, including ourselves. This realization transforms not only how we view ourselves, but also how we interact with the world around us. Self-worth is not the enchantment of others, but how we interact with the world around us.